50 horse or 100 horse. The more you drill the jets out and put more fuel in, it's just more and more horse until you broke something.
That's when you know you did enough.
Yeah, you had enough then.
Welcome back to another episode of BarryTsGarage, and with Ed Smith. We like to ask Ed questions. Ed Smith knows the answers, and he has opinions, even if he's not 100%.
Not answers, opinions.
Yeah. We ask Ed for his opinion, and we have a lot of fun with it. We tell stories, and you've told me some good stories already today. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning.
It was good seeing you this morning. People ask, how do I get questions to Ed? You just make a comment on the video with the question in it, and we'll capture that. But we really appreciate the questions.
What we got this morning?
Got some good ones. The first question I've got here, I think it goes back to a nitrous question.
Okay.
Not a lot of people are so familiar with the nitrous.
I don't know why, because nitrous, I don't know if people are using it that much more anymore, but we used to use it a lot. I used to sell a lot of nitrous.
Okay.
Nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
We could buy it over here at the welding supply. Yeah, it was easy. Yeah, welding supply is a block away, so we could get whatever we wanted. Yeah.
So
I was probably one of the first ones to have nitrous around it. We played with it and played with it on our race cars and our street cars and stuff, and had a lot of fun.
Now, in the early days of nitrous, you guys were experimenting.
Yes.
So did you find different ways to put the nitrous in the system, into the engine? Like what different things did you try?
Not really the systems. We didn't mess with that too much. I did have one system for a big block Chevy that was all hid under the intake manifold. You couldn't tell it.
Really?
All the plumbing was underneath there and it came out the back. Yeah, I had one system for that.
Okay.
For a while, but we use just regular systems. I think there's a couple bottles sitting right here behind me.
Okay.
On the floor here. And I have several systems hanging on the wall over here, different ones that we did and things, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had quite a few customers that just used it on their street cars, not necessarily a race car.
What was the easiest way to put it on a street car?
Just put space underneath the carburetor.
It's just a spray nozzle?
Yes, the spray nozzle is under the carburetor, yeah.
Under the carburetor.
And all nitrous oxide did was expand.
Okay.
It didn't do anything else. But expanded the air. You could have 8-to-1 compression, and as soon as you squirt the thing, it was ice cold. Of course, it was cold.
Yeah.
And when it heated up, it expanded, and you had 12-to-1 compression.
Wow. And then you have the extra oxygen in the nitrous oxide.
Yeah, and the nitrous oxide didn't burn.
Okay.
You can't smell it or anything.
Huh.
It's just a non-functional thing, but it expands.
Okay.
Then you add fuel to it, nitrous oxide and fuel ratio, keep that ratio set,
yeah.
and it would burn. So it just give you 50 horse or 100 horse. The more you drill the jets out and put more fuel in, it's just more and more horse until you broke something.
That's when you know you did enough.
Yeah, you had enough then.
Okay.
And sometimes two systems.
All right. Interesting.
So what was his question?
Okay, back to the question. It's more of a comment. I guess he wants your ideas about. Said we had a fire suppression system with a nozzle in front of the air cleaner and a fire extinguisher in between the seats with a button on it to push the flame out. So what it really had in the fire extinguisher was actually nitrous. It wasn't fire suppressant.
Okay.
So have you ever done things like that with hiding nitrous?
We hit it a couple times.
Okay.
Sometimes you did different things with it. It was kind of picky.
Okay.
Complicated. So you didn't hurt something.
Right.
Yeah. And there were several people got caught cheating, and even some people we heard in magazines, I'm not sure if that was all true or not, by putting it in a battery or something. I know they had some of the nitrous maybe in a hose. We had one guy that had too many hoses on his dragster.
Okay.
It was economy rail or junior fuel car, but he had hoses going everywhere. And valves and stuff, electronic valves. So if he had a hose full of nitrous, one of the people I asked one time, this guy on the final run for the money, he went faster than he ever did in his whole life. So I asked the people, spectator, I says, tell me about that car.
Yeah.
Tell me about this guy. He's smart. Tell me what unusual thing. He said he'd done a burnout almost half track.
Oh, wow, that's a long time, yeah.
That's a lot, and then backed up. Of course he did, getting the motor warm.
Okay.
Yeah, and he had to change the hose, was full of nitrous oxide, but he had to ask fuel to it too. You just can't put nitrous oxide, that's just flood the motor with air,
Okay.
he has to add fuel to it too.
Okay.
At the same time, percentage, keep that 14-to-1 compression ratio.
Yeah.
And so his last run, he was done. Of course, you couldn't check him because it was gone. There's no way to check him.
It's already
But
spent.
the last run of the day for the money, he went a lot faster than he did in his whole life.
Wow.
But we know he was cheating.
Yeah.
So anyways, the easiest way to do it is put it under the carburetor. Now, I don't think it does any good to fog and blow nitrous oxide into the carburetor, into a large amount, like he might have a fire extinguisher and a hose up there and something else looks like a fire.
Yeah, he's going into the air cleaner.
He's actually got to inject it into the cylinders.
Okay, so it's after the carburetor.
Yes,
Okay.
because other than that, it would just dissipate.
Okay, so that wouldn't work too well, I guess.
Yeah, it didn't work. So you have to inject it into the motor, in the cylinder wall,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's where you want it to expand.
Okay.
You don't want it to expand in the carburetor. What good is that?
Yeah.
So some of those myths or things people were exaggerating didn't do as well as they thought.
Okay. I got you.
Just the common sense
Yeah.
that it has to be injected. That's why it was actually squirted into the cylinder.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good to know.
yeah, good.
We're learning
And
more.
we used to use nitrous oxide, one of the things in our Hemi motor. I had sets of those, and we had the bottle in the trunk, a bottle, and we wrapped the hoses, heater hoses, really we did,
Mm-hmm.
from the engine. When the engine's hot, we ran heater hoses because we didn't have a heater in the car.
Right.
It was a drag car, it was a Chrysler and Hemi. And we ran heater hoses back and wrapped the hoses around the bottle
Okay.
to heat the bottle.
So get more pressure.
Yes, we got more pressure by heating the bottle.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when somebody came out, I think the first nitrous oxide we did was 10,000 RPM, was a hot rod shop. And they're the first ones that started putting this system together.
Okay.
And that was early people that did that.
Yeah. So we're talking about in the late 60s maybe? Or?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And so we have some of their systems, and I think the first ones and some of the information we got was from them.
Yeah. Huh.
It was
Interesting.
actually a California hot rod shop. The name of it was
Yeah.
10,000 RPMs. Then one of the companies that I thought was funny because one of the companies came out with a stainless steel box they put in the trunk and fill it full of ice. And they
That's
said
the opposite of a heater
the
hose.
opposite of what we did with ours.
Yeah.
So I guess they filled it full of ice and that lower the pressure in a nitrous bottle.
Huh.
And I don't hope they didn't sell too many of them.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. I don't know whose idea that was, but
Right. Okay, so there's a nitrous setup. Can you tell me how this works?
just nitrous goes in here and then equals through here and sprays out equal there. And these are screwed in the intake manifold, actually like fuel injection nozzles.
Oh,
So
okay.
they are fuel injection, but they're nitrous.
Okay, so sometimes we get nitromethane and nitrous mixed up. So-
Nitromethane is a liquid fuel, like gasoline. You put in your fuel tank
Uh-huh.
and runs through your fuel pump, through the carburetor, or through injectors. Nitrous oxide, what it does is sprays in here,
Yeah.
and it's cold. It's actually frozen. That's how cold it is.
Okay.
So once you let the under pressure, once it's not under pressure, it expands.
Oh, so once you spray it in the cylinder,
It expands.
it expands.
That's all it does. It don't burn. You can't smell it. You can't do anything with it. It does not catch on fire.
Huh.
So it just expands. So instead of having 10-to-1 compression,
Yeah.
and you push the button, depends on how much you spray in there,
Yeah.
you can have 12 or 13-to-1 compression
Okay.
just by spraying this nitrous oxide in the cylinders, because it expands again.
Okay, so what engine would this be a setup for?
This would probably be for a tunnel ram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just get a little bit of a look
This would
at
be
it.
a small, who knows what, Edelbrock tunnel ram. And then you drill it and put all these nozzles in it, each one to a cylinder. So that's how much you spray in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so that is how that works.
You still have to keep 13-to-1 ratio with
Uh-huh.
gasoline and thing, because if you did that without putting fuel in at the same time, then you're going to lean it out.
Okay.
You have a lot of gas in there, but no gasoline.
Yeah, right.
So now these are different ones with a spray bottle in the center.
Oh,
There's two
really?
different bars here.
Right, and you can see small holes.
Yeah, small holes. Two different ones. One is gasoline, and the other one is nitrous oxide.
Okay.
So still, if you put in so much, and it's like we would buy maybe a 50-horse nitrous system, and then we would just drill the jets out. But we drill out the nitrous jet and also the gasoline one too. And we can make it whatever we want. You wouldn't do this until you're probably half throttle or more.
I see.
You wouldn't do it at idle or off throttle, because one of these is gasoline and the other one is nitrous.
Yeah, so it was just connected
They're
to
just
keep
connected
it together.
here just to hang on the wall.
Yeah, right. I get it. Okay, cool. So again, that was nitrous, not nitromethane.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And even sometimes we had two sets in one, maybe a boat or something. Because a boat, if you have the jet boats, especially if you put too much horsepower, it just spins the prop.
It's not grabbing any
It ain't
water.
going anywhere. No.
Yeah.
Here's a bottle here. Now to fill these, they take so much. So we would put them in ice water, cool the bottle. And a 10-pound bottle, we can get 12 pounds in it. But you can't leave it out in the sun.
Right.
It has a pressure relief, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So then you keep it wrapped up in a rag, a wet rag, and then it would last longer, especially, we use them in drag racing. I used to fill some for some customers. I still have a fill station over here. The customers that just really a weird car, almost a stock, and he had nitrous oxide on it.
Huh.
He says he goes to Flagstaff all the time, and he can pass anybody. Of course, when he mashes the throttle, he has 12-to-1 compression. And it will go up to 110 miles an hour. He leaves off of it. He has 8-to-1 or 9-to-1 and cruises on to town.
Wow.
But he used to fill his bottle maybe once a month.
So he was addicted to it.
Yeah, he loved it. Yeah.
So when you talk about going up the hill, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The only time it acts is when you half throttle or more, wherever you got that switch activated.
Would you worry very much about wear and like for a daily driver, for wear and tear on it, doing that?
No.
No.
It's cold. So as we keep the air-fuel ratio, nitrous oxide, and gasoline ratio is where it's supposed to be, then you know you won't have any problem. And these bottles, when you put them in your car, you lay them down.
You lay them on their side.
Yeah, lay them on their side. You don't stand them up.
Now, why would?
Well, because that's liquid.
Okay.
It has a draft tube in it. It goes to the bottom of the thing, and it shows it there where that draft tube is.
Okay.
To the bottom of the tank. You lay it down with that draft tube at the bottom, then it sucks you'll get the whole bottle empty.
Oh, it's for picking it all up.
Yes.
I'm not talking about for storage or shipping. You're talking about when it's in the car using it.
And you're using it. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty good stuff. There's another bottle there.
When you're pre-oiling and lubing an engine for the first time you start it, and he says, I'm most worried about the drying of the cylinder walls on a first start, as far as oiling.
Well, first start, you need to have, I hope the oils the pistons, oils the cylinder walls before he puts it together.
Okay.
And the pistons, you see people drip oil. We drip oil all around the rings and stuff and massage them, the oil, and put it together. It's got plenty of oil on pre-start.
Okay.
And some of the things I would worry more about anything else as far as pre-start, we'll get into that, is the rear main thrust bearing. One guy gets in the car to start it up, and it's a 4-speed, so he pushes the foot down on the clutch and puts it in neutral.
Yep.
Holds his foot down on the clutch, so he's got the thrust bearing, the throttle bearing, the clutch, and everything else, and his foot, pressure on his foot, forcing the crank out through the front of the motor, through the thrust bearing, and then trying to start it on a brand new motor.
Okay.
It's really bad. Take the thrust bearing right out of it before it starts the motor up.
Interesting.
Because he has all that pressure, spring pressure, pressure plate pressure, pushing the crank out the front.
Right.
I should put it in neutral, take his foot off the clutch.
Let the clutch out so there's no pressure on
the no pressure on the thrust pressure. And then the front timing chain.
Okay.
Timing chains and gears. Half the time the people don't lube them when they put them together. You know, I would want to put on the timing chain and the gears, the front, because it's got to run the timing chain.
Yep.
And the camshaft and stuff. I'd put a little STP on there, even if it was going to set for a while, and let it soak into that timing chain and gear, some good lubrication.
Yeah.
But definitely put some of that on the timing chain and front gears.
Okay.
People don't do that.
I wonder, everybody thinks about the inside of the engine, but you mentioned two things that are on the front and the back of the engine.
Yes. Yeah.
Because normally, once an engine is normally running, it just needs a little bit up front.
Yeah, it needs a little bit sometimes. Even I think Oldsmobile has a galley plug with a little hole in it.
Yeah.
squirts it around the timing chain.
Yeah. Huh.
And several other motors have a way of, it's like the Chevrolet, it goes out the front. So we would turn around and drill holes in the engine, an angle hole up into the oil where all the oil's around the lifters.
Yep.
And some of that oil puddled up there would run through that hole and lubricate the timing gear.
Yeah.
So it's bearing on the timing chain
Yeah.
and gear, yeah.
Huh.
I'd worry more about that than I would lubricate the pistons because you already lubricated them.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Brett is asking a question about the Pontiac 301. There's an unusual engine, had a turbo. I think that was the last of those Trans Am
Yes.
V8 turbos with the small V8, the 301. He said it was a real oddball. The heads on those had 2 ports on each head, but one was a lot larger than the other.
We didn't see very many of those, maybe 1 or 2 or something. I remember Pontiac had some problems with that turbo.
Mm.
When they first put it together. I don't know, they didn't do their research. And it was early stages too. I remember some of those cars that the motor went out of them when the car was brand new. Like the guy would go to California and before he knew what was going on, it drained all the oil out of the motor out to the turbo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the turbo runs on oil pressure from the engine.
Yeah.
And they'd be halfway to California and all the oil's out of the crankcase and burn the motor up.
Oh, wow.
Then you could go down to Pontiac and buy a brand new crate motor with the turbo and everything on it.
Oh, really? Oh,
The whole motor, I think the fan belts and everything were on it.
wow.
Almost like they took it off the assembly line.
Like you just drop it in?
Drop it in, yeah,
Wow.
under warranty. So it was a crazy situation then.
Yeah, and I don't believe they made a lot of those either.
No, I don't think they made too many of those.
Yeah.
But I know there's some different situations there. Somewhere didn't understand what they were doing.
Yeah.
So,
Not much work on the 301.
not much, yeah, not much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris says he tried using Slick 50 back in the day. And unfortunately for him, it glassed up the cylinder walls for him.
And what if he had put too much in or something?
Okay.
And somebody asked me one time, Slick 50 came out and you sold so much, you got a percentage of what somebody else sold.
Right. A pyramid thing.
A pyramid sales like that thing, and somebody ended up with a whole garage full when they got all done.
Yeah.
And these guys it was my friends asked me what it was, and my remark was at the time, it was good for pancakes. So after that, it was, I think it had, I don't know that much about it, but we still liked our STP.
Yeah.
And the STP, we know it was small molecules of silicone.
Right. Okay.
And that's where it all come from. And there was a couple, maybe 3 manufacturers of that silicone, but whatever you put it in there. And I thought, I don't know why, Slick 50, and we don't see that anymore.
No.
And so it was pyramid sales. I remember along that same line was some kind of a additive, and it was oil. And you put it in your gasoline tank. Well, of course, oil sealed up the piston rings. So you had more compression.
Yeah. Right.
And you had a little more power. Wow. Just put this can in your gas tank.
Yeah.
You got more compression. With more compression, then you got a little bit better gas mileage and a little more horsepower.
Okay.
It was quite a pyramid sales on that too.
Now, but if you did that a lot, wouldn't you carbon everything up?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he called it cylinder walls. If he has too much, it'd be glaze up the cylinder walls.
Right.
And the rings wouldn't seat then.
Yeah.
Especially I would never put it on a new motor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where it would be in the cylinder walls at all, yeah.
Yeah.
I would never put STP in the cylinder walls.
Chuck said, do you remember engine rebuild pills from Castle in the 1970s? You added these pills into your oil and they would melt and restore your engine like new.
I never heard of any kind of a pill you could put in there, but of course it was the same thing. It was just doing an additive.
Yeah.
But anyways, we do have a big sign up on my ceiling right there.
Yeah.
Miracle Power.
Miracle Power.
And that sign is a few years old. It says on it, I'll read it from here. It's up hanging from my ceiling in my shop.
Yeah.
It says Miracle Power. Every 1,000 miles, use it in your gas and oil.
Oh, wow.
So there's a whole can of this. That's what it says up on this. But the sign up there is about maybe 6 feet long. It's a metal sign, 6x4.
Huh.
I have it hanging from the ceiling in my shop.
Yeah.
This is an advertisement sign. It's pretty cool.
They had a lot of marketing.
They had a lot of stuff, and
back
I
in
think
that
some
day.
of, I don't know who sold it all. Maybe J.C. Whitney, or we're
Maybe.
going to pick on them as many times as we get a chance.
We don't know, but
or J.C. Whitney, or else
Wisowski.
Wiskowski, yeah.
Wisowski, okay.
Chicago boys.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make a couple bucks.
Yeah. There
You can't blame them.
Tom has a question about the Thermo-Quads. He thinks he remembers that sometimes the throttle body would warp on them.
I never heard of one
Okay.
warping, but anyways, we have carburetor warps all the time
Okay.
because the guys tighten the bolts up.
Ah.
You know, a regular carburetor. I mean, my friend up here does carburetors all the time. He's probably the most professional guy in Phoenix here. And I'll just name him as Bob Ream.
Yeah.
And he makes his own fuel injections,
Yeah.
but he fixes carburetors. I go up to his shop all the time, and he's got carburetors laying everywhere. And he has to remachine them all the time to get the gaskets to seal. And you tighten up the bolts, and it gets hot and cold. Of course, it's going to pull that carburetor up.
Yeah.
And they've had the 2-barrel Chevy carburetors with that wing nut, air cleaner wing nut right in the middle. It sucked the whole carburetor in. The choke wouldn't even move. It was that much warped. And that's on a metal carburetor.
Yeah.
You know, metal.
So you have a combination of things there where
Yes.
you're tightening the carburetor down too tight, and then you
Yes.
add over-tightening the wing nut
Yeah, on the air cleaner.
and the air cleaner.
And it gets hot and cold. Of course it's going to
You're going
warp
to pull it up.
Yeah, so you can't blame the carburetor.
You're blaming the gorilla that's over-tightening everything.
Yes, the guy that owns the thing.
Okay. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Will is asking, I've seen rods bent so that they will open on all four at barely under a quarter throttle. Have you ever seen that where the butterflies open to full throttle even though maybe all the gas isn't going in?
He's talking about the little linkage rods,
Yeah.
the little small ones, little wire rods between the secondaries and the primaries,
Ah,
I think. He's not bending anything on the carburetor,
right.
but he can bend those things, and sometimes I do too.
Okay.
If I catch a carburetor that's not right, and they just maybe don't wide open primary,
Mm-hmm.
and the secondary is about 3/4.
Oh, yeah.
It's not open, the carburetor. That's because the linkage is not bent right.
Okay.
You just bend it out a little bit more, and that carburetor will be actually wide open, primary and secondary both.
Okay.
That's just a matter of adjusting the carburetor on any carburetor
Okay.
if you want that. But half the time, the secondary has another butterfly above it, and that's worked on vacuum. How much the secondary, the rear part of the carburetor, pulls air, and then it has to open that valve so it don't bog. And it's
Okay.
actually the secondary carburetor, I think it looks like a choke butterfly,
Mm-hmm.
but that opens on demand
Okay.
and runs. That's why the secondaries work so perfect. Yeah, instead of just dumping air, you can't dump air in the carburetor or dump air in the engine at low speeds.
Right.
It does nothing. It all has to be progressive. So you have to be careful with carburation, and that's called Tinkeritis.
Yeah.
We have that in our speech once in a while.
Yeah.
People get Tinkeritis and start tinkering a carburetor, and they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But good question.
It's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, straighten it up.
Okay. What do you think about the exhaust valve acting on gasoline just by itself?
I think it's where the camshaft is. The valve's open. There's enough air to keep that fuel on. Usually the valve's closed.
Yep.
The intake valve's closed, and the exhaust valve, both are closed
Yep.
when you inject the fuel in it.
Yep.
You inject the fuel in it, it's just a few degrees before you light the spark plug.
Yep.
That's why it all runs the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Once
is,
in a while, you get a carburetor like this car right here. I had the carburetor the other day. I was running it, and then the choke linkage went on the choke thing. And I couldn't shut it off, key off, with no electricity, and it kept running.
but people call that dieseling.
Dieseling, yeah. This car was dieseling the other day
Okay.
because the choke was stuck, and I'd been running it.
Right. And
I
on
shouldn't have had the choke on.
yeah.
But I just let the clutch out and kill the engine. But it was running on the exhaust, on that exhaust valve.
Okay. Oh, I see. So that's in the
was.
case where it will run
Yeah,
on the
because I had the
exhaust.
key off. There's no electricity.
Right. And it's a mechanical fuel pump, so the fuel keeps coming in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there's an example.
Yeah.
It can run the car, but it's not a good idea.
Not a good idea, no.
Okay. Randy has a question here about the FE motor, 410 Mercury Marauder. It's a low RPM kind of a torque motor with a high volume oil pump. The FE sends the oil to the main bearings after it's already been up in the cam, or should I use a stock oil pump? Is that a better way to go?
Depends what he's doing with the motor.
Okay.
If he's got, I don't think he's got to race that motor.
He says it's low RPM torque motor, so I guess he's after a cruiser.
Yeah, something heavy vehicle stuff, and I would think a stock oil pump would be fine, but a Marauder, a high volume pump is just a high volume pump, not necessarily high pressure.
Okay.
It's about high volume pump is normally if the pump gears in the pump are a certain height, maybe 1.25 inches or something, they may be a 1/4 inch longer gears in it, and the whole pump is made longer, so it pushes more volume.
I see.
I don't think the hoses, pipes are any bigger. You can only push so much hole through a filter screen
Right.
that sucks it out of the pan, and then from the engine, high volume pump in a motor that's, unless you drill out all the holes in the motor,
Okay.
bigger to high handle the pressure means nothing.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, very little high volume pump, so
You're saying
pump enough oil.
the stock oil pump should be fine.
Should be fine.
Yes. Now we've got another Flathead Mopar. You know, you did that Dodge or
I
Plymouth.
thought they forgot about that.
It's been a couple years maybe.
Yeah, a couple, but that's fine.
That's he said the old Flathead Mopar pistons are very tall. When you're balancing them, is it okay to shorten the skirts a little bit to get them to weigh the same?
I would shorten the skirts.
You would?
Yeah, sure. Well, whatever it takes to get the pistons all weigh the same.
All right.
It's rarely that you end up with a set of pistons and it'd be that far off.
Okay. He's just worried to take too much off the skirts. He wants to make sure he doesn't have a problem because the skirts are too short.
You can take a 1/4 inch off of them.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why you'd take a 1/4 inch off of one or two pistons in a whole set.
Yeah. Well, he says he's hot rodding a Flathead Plymouth.
Okay.
And he just wants to get everything balanced
That's fine,
right.
yeah. It's a good idea to balance it.
Yeah, so he's having a hard time balancing them. So
I
I
would
guess
worry more about the flywheel and clutch.
okay. There's a clue for you right there.
Yeah.
What would go wrong with those flywheels and clutches?
Well, they're just out of balance.
Okay.
Pressure plates, worse. The clutch pressure plates, that thing's out of balance most of the time.
Okay.
You know, out of the way it's manufactured or where it's pressed steel and the things they make it out of, yeah.
Okay, so this brings up a good point. A lot of times we get obsessed maybe about balancing the rods and the pistons and all the
Yes, that's
pieces.
right.
And then there's other rotating
Especially
parts.
6-cylinder,
Oh, really?
because it all goes up and down.
Yeah.
It don't go sideways. It shakes back and forth.
Right.
If you get a V8 or V6, will shake like mad.
But a straight
Well, 4
engine.
cylinders, basically it's wasting your time a little bit, but that's fine. On a 6-cylinder or straight 4
Or a straight 8?
or straight 8,
Yep.
straight 8 to balance it. It don't make much difference,
But
but do it anyways.
Okay, still do it. But
Especially-
also don't forget the flywheel and clutch.
Flywheel and clutch.
Okay.
Yeah, not the disc, but the clutch. Yeah, that's most important part of that.
Okay, we just learned something. All right, here's another question for Ed from Michael. Is it okay to remove one of the 4 rings? It's got 4 rings on the piston.
I don't know which one I'd remove. I don't know, because the one bottom one rings washes the oil down.
Yep.
And you got the oil ring. Depends on the way the rings are made, what they're made out of. And if it's a solid oil ring, cast, big thick one, and then or else it's the rail, spring rail with the rails, what ring type you have, whether I remove one or not.
Okay, so it's a
But
possibility.
don't leave the top one or the second one off, whatever you do.
No, the top 2 are doing all the work.
Yeah, they do all the compression work, yeah. The other
Right.
ones are just wiping the oil.
Okay.
So they
That-
don't mean much, and sometimes those don't have very much ring tension.
Yeah.
It's important whether you leave one out or not.
I have a feeling that a great source for that is our friends at Total Seal Piston Ring,
Yes,
because they may offer a specific answer for that.
yes, they would, yeah.
Yeah.
They would know.
Very good. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there
Okay,
for today. And so thank you, Ed.
okay, good.
Love hearing your opinions.
Good
It's
day.
really great.
Good
And
day.
thank you for joining us. It's always fun. And keep sending those questions in. And don't forget to ring that alarm bell so you get notified when we post the next one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
See you on the next one.